I think there needs to be a change in how we teach people to begin families. So I have done a lot of research on different things, and the patterns all come down to a simple structural process. The system has created a structure for families that literally destroys families. I mean, all you have to do is look at the evidence. I'm not even gonna have to argue with you about that. If you can't see it, then you might want to keep going. Because all you have to do is look at parents getting their children arrested, children killing their parents, spouses cheating. I mean, it's almost a given. People expect it. I mean, prenups now are a given because they expect at some point their partner to want to leave them and become bitter and try to take them for everything. So not only now are prenups considered normal, they're actually expected, and you're considered foolish if you are someone with wealth to not have a prenup. Why do we live in a world where we have to have prenups? Why do we live in a world where we can't trust the one person we're supposed to be committing to having a raw and open, authentic relationship with? Because how else are you supposed to grow unless you have a raw, open, authentic relationship with somebody, right? The whole point of a partnership is to find somebody that matches your energy in the perfect ways that help you both grow for your highest good. You can't do that while you're pretending or masking or hiding or not living authentically. You know what I mean? So that brings me back to the structure of family, and especially mothers and motherhood. Because as mothers, our children, our sons, our daughters become the next fathers, become the next mothers. And as women, we need to be very careful how we pick our partners. We need to be a lot more fucking choosy. And I'm not talking genetics or looks. I'm talking about their ability to be present as a provider, if that's the role they're taking on in the family. If you're the provider and not the caregiver, then do they make a good mom? Right? Like, is that something they genuinely, passionately, in their heart want to be a part of? Do they want to be a mom? If they don't talk to them about having kids. And if you want kids, well, that's not your person. We need to be picky. As a woman, if you are in your heart feeling like you want to have some peace, have quiet, have a relationship, raise children, it's really important that we be very picky who we let into our lives. We seem to think that we have to settle, and we don't. We seem to think it's better to just get somebody than nobody. And that's because as women, we have been separated from each other for so long. We're constantly comparing ourselves to one another. We're constantly judging, criticizing. Oh, that's not how you raise a baby. Oh, that's not what I did with my firstborn. Blah, 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 blah. Who the fuck cares? How are you feeling today? Do you need a hug? Can I get you some tea? Like, what the fuck? Why do we have to judge everybody all the time? Are you really better than them, or are you judging them because inside of yourself you're actually afraid that you're not as good as a mom as the other one, or that you're not as pretty as she is? You know what I mean? So we judge, we criticize, because our fear is driving us. And how do we fix that? And this is where the pattern goes. It goes back to women needing to heal those core wounds that make us afraid of our own feminine power, our own genuine, natural, God-given, because it comes from our higher self, which comes from source, which you call it God, call it whatever you want, but we're all from that place. The energy that is woman, the energy that is womb in, is our right. And the patriarch system wants us to be afraid of it. No, we don't follow systems that are in a logical sense. No, some days we seem batshit crazy. And that's the whole point. Because men become attracted to things that stress them out, which is really fucking weird, but I guess science wins that one, because if we didn't stress them out, they wouldn't release vasopressin, and they probably wouldn't become addicted to us. Men need to become addicted to us. They need to. Otherwise they find other addictions. So give them something worth being addicted to. Give them a woman who knows her worth, who knows her value, who won't settle, who won't raise her family with a man who isn't going to do his part, whatever that works out to be for you two. Again, there doesn't need to be a specific pattern or routine like everybody else. It can be unique to just you two. But we as women need to be pickier. And that starts with learning to love ourselves, which starts with us coming together and supporting each other so we can love ourselves. I'll tell you, as a single mother with 3 kids, doing this last year alone was hard. And now I have more things I have to do. I know I can do it. It's just, it's a lot harder to do it alone. If I'd had friends that I actually, genuinely connected to, I think it would be easier, because you'd have that support that you just don't get when you're alone. Not saying you can't do it alone. Not saying you can't. And not everyone's gonna have the same challenges I do. I have a lot of social anxiety. It was probably about a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years ago. Well, no, definitely a year and a half now, where agoraphobia was a huge part of my life. So I'm a lot better, and I acknowledge how far I've come. But it's still really hard for me to do things like I need to go buy a car, or I want to get a camper van, and even things like going out and changing my car insurance, or going down to the service center and renewing my plates, etc. That stuff, it's a lot for me. It really is. I do not enjoy it. It takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of effort, and I have to force myself to be a part of that. It's not my thing, man. It's really not. It makes me feel icky the whole way. So, yeah, I would totally appreciate having friends, but on the same hand, I know I can do it alone. And I think that's the level we need to reach as women, as potential mothers, caregivers, is we need to know that, we're capable, but we also need to know that some things we would prefer others to help us with. And if you're picking a partner, make sure they can actually help you with those things, and not do it in a way that makes you feel like shit. Until family systems change, we're not going to see massive, long-lasting changes with society, with the way we treat kids, with the way we treat each other. We need to address this so that families can be families again. So communities can be communities again. That whole concept where it takes a whole village to raise a child, it's actually true. We need that back. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. That's just my opinion and all that stuff. So, do what you want with it. Have a great day. Goodbye.